Welcome everyone to the NFL Week 9 Predictive Playbook show. I'm joined by my two good buddies and professional sports bettors, Rocky and Atkinson. Sorry about that, Rocky. And Don Buster. And as I always like to say, if you're his friend, you call him Buster. All right, let's get to the NFL action this week. We're going to start out with Rocky here on the Patriots versus Panthers game. 1 o'clock p.m., CBS, Bank of America Stadium. Charlotte, North Carolina is the location for this game. New England comes in off a huge win on the West Coast against those Chargers. The line is New England minus 3.5, over under 41 points. Rocky, can New England start putting it together here?
Not sure about that. Both teams come in with identical 4-4 straight up overall records on the season. Like you said, Patriots are off a blowout win over the Jets, 54-13 2 weeks ago, and the upset win last week against the Chargers, 27-24. The public's all over the Patriots here, but you got to give Carolina props. They're off a solid win of their own, beating the Falcons 19-13 in Atlanta this past weekend. Carolina got their running game going last week with 203 rushing yards against Atlanta. Rookie running back Chuba Hubbard led the way with 82 yards rushing on 24 carries, 1 touchdown. Abdullah had 31 yards on the ground. Freeman had 25 yards. Sam Darnold added 66 yards on the ground before getting knocked out of the game. Right now, Darnold is under concussion protocol and is questionable at the moment for this weekend. He is doing some minor run-throughs in practice, though, this week, so I'm hoping he'll be able to play. Christian McCaffrey was back on the field also this week in practice, but we're still unsure of his status as well on Sunday. While I hope both Darnold and McCaffrey play, of course, I don't think it's going to matter, as the Panthers should stick mostly to the ground game and keep this one close. Carolina defense is ranked number 2 in the NFL in total yards allowed and number 2 in pass defense. So I feel like defense will be the key here to winning this game, or at least keeping it very close. We're getting over a field goal here. Some trends for this game: New England's 3-8 against the spread the last 11 games as a favorite, including 1-4 against the spread the last 5 as a road favorite. New England's 1-4 against the spread off a straight-up win. Carolina's 10-4 against the spread the last 14 games as an underdog. The underdog is 4-1 against the spread the last 5 games overall in this series. And Carolina is 6-1 against the spread all time versus New England. We'll play Carolina plus the points in this one on Sunday.
I like that pick, Rocky. We've seen a lot of teams go and win a big game, like Cincinnati beat Baltimore and crushed them. In the following week, they are ranked number 1 in the AFC, and they lose to the Jets. So I like the zigzag because that's pretty common in the NFL. Let's move on to Buster's pick here, which is in the Cardinals, the big showdown. And Kyler Murray, will he play? Won't he play? But the line has been all over the place as Buster has been studying and researching this game. It's going to take place at Levi's Stadium in Santa Clara, California. 49ers, in my opinion, are in trouble making the playoffs at 3-4. The Cardinals are 7-1 and have not lost an away game, going 4-0. So take it away, Buster, and tell us where your best bet is in this game.
Okay, John, I actually just want to give you a shout out because we did the show and you had that Cincinnati Jets and told everybody to plug their nose and take the Jets. So props to you for
Appreciate it.
Taking those points there. Our play is going to be on San Fran here. As you said, the line's all over the place. There's 2.5, 2, 1. So make sure you always shop around for the line. The 49ers here, they're desperate for a win to get to 500, 4-4 on the season. Because if they do have a lot of they got 8 games left. They have to play the Rams. They could maybe split against them. But they end up getting to play Atlanta, I believe, Houston, and Jacksonville. So those are 3 wins right there. So this is a very, very important game that they must win. First game between these guys, Arizona wins 17-10. But Garoppolo didn't play. Trace Lance played. He was good, actually played all right. And tell you the truth, even as if you go back to the game, you'll see that San Francisco actually out-yarded Arizona in that game. And it was a close game. So, as you would say, John, Arizona comes here 7-1. But they've got some issues. They've got some COVID issues, and they got injury issues. And Hopkins didn't practice yesterday. Murray didn't practice. And the talk of Murray maybe not playing this game has caused this line in the books to have it all over the place. So without Hopkins and Murray, you never know. At 7-1, I know it's a divisional game. I don't know if they want to sit those guys out. Key for San Francisco to win here, Garoppolo can't turn the ball over, and they've got to run the ball. In that first game, they ran for 152 yards on this Arizona defense. And look for Eli Mitchell to have a great game. He's had back-to-back games over 100 yards, and we really like the San Francisco to get that run game going, because they get the run game going, they keep the Arizona offense off the field, and they also build a strong San Francisco defense, which they have a very good one. As far as trends in that, Arizona's kind of owned these guys in San Francisco of late. So I know it's a divisional game, so there's lots of motivation anyways, but that gives us a little bit of a revenge, and that's always nice to have a little revenge in your handicap as well. So we'll be going with San Francisco in this spot here on Sunday.
Yeah, I'm with you, Buster. I'm in full agreement with both of you guys. And the Jets call was overly aggressive, but I can be aggressive once in a while. It happens like 2 times a season, so you really have to make sure you look for it because it doesn't happen very often. But anyway.
Hey, just saying that, John, you say that about aggression, but I also remember you're the same guy that took Texas A&M to beat Alabama, if I remember, this year.
You have a very good memory.
So,
good memory.
And when you win those kind of games OR, it's like we mostly are underdog bettors ourselves when we play situational underdog games. So I really appreciate when I see guys, anybody, whoever can pick these kind of games like that. I'm in much appreciation of those kind of victories.
I appreciate it. You guys are equally as good, and that's why you're on this show. We do this for a living. So I mean, but I always like the saying, some days you're the dog and some days you're the fire hydrant, and we just try to be the dog all the time. Anyway, my game is going to be featuring another game that has mixed lines, mixed readings. Will he play? Will he not play? Dak Prescott. But I think in this game, I am going to go with Denver. And one of the reasons is, my models are on Denver, but not in a huge way like they were with the Jets last week. But I don't think Prescott's going to play in this game. And the reason why is that they have a 3-game lead in the NFC East right now. They're 6-1. They're playoff bound. And I think that is going to dictate when Prescott actually comes back. And it's better, if you think about it, if you're on that team, you want him back 100%, not 85%, and then injure that calf again and be out another 3 weeks. And then all of a sudden, the way the NFC East is, all of a sudden they lose a couple games. But what more compliment can you give Cooper Rush, though, with the way he played and stepped in as he has? It's just a remarkable performance. This game is at home for the Cowboys, so they're 3-0 at home. Dallas right now is -10. And I don't know. I just think double digits to a Denver team that is bottoming out. They haven't played well recently. They're still 4-4. They're still in playoff contention. I just think that this is a shot again with a double-digit dog that is certainly a much better team than the Jets are. At least we think the Jets are still not that good, but they just happen to pull off a huge win. So the Broncos are also backed by a couple betting angles, too, that I'll mention. And the first one is you're going to bet on underdogs of 3.5 to 10.5 points after a game in which they committed 1 or fewer turnovers against an opponent after a game with a turnover margin of -2 or worse. So you have Denver coming off the game committing, I believe, no turnovers in that game, and the opponent Dallas had a turnover margin of -2. That combination has been successful for a very long time, and over the last 5 years, 79% winners on a 31-8 record. Over the last 3 seasons, 15-4, which is that's up around 77%. So I think we'll do the same thing as we did last week. We'll take the double-digit points and sprinkle a little on that money line. And when we say sprinkle, if you consider this like a normal bet for me would be a 4-unit bet on a 3, 4, and 5-unit scale, then you're not going to sprinkle the money line for more than 1 unit. So you bet $100, you add 10 to the money line. You bet $200, you would add $20 to the money line. And that's the discipline that we 3 have learned to do. And we resist the temptation to take a game and go for it, because then you're getting yourself on the wrong side of the fence, or the wrong side of the street, so to speak. But my play is Denver plus 10 and the sprinkle on the money line. So that's going to take care of it for Week 9 NFL action. Rocky, Buster, it's always a pleasure having you on these shows. And if you're watching this show and you have a question for any one of us, put it in the comments section. Send a DM to these guys. We all respond to them as best we can. And we would actually like that. And for next week, if there's a game on the Week 10 card that you want us to preview, I might run my models and do it myself. So we want to bring you the content that you like the best. And that's about it for today. So on behalf of Rocky, Buster, myself, sportsmemo.com, waitertalk.com, may all the wins be yours.